closed door on the north wall bears a small brass plaque. The plaque reads, "Guard Room." Uh-oh. Alexander hears the clear sound of guard dog voices coming from behind the door. He decides opening the door wouldn't be wise. In the corner is a suit of armor of ancient design. Its right arm beckons slightly. There is no one inside the suit of armor to talk to. Alexander examines the suit of armor, but sees nothing special. The suit of armor's right arm beckons slightly. Remembering what the little boy ghost said, Alexander experiments with the suit of armor. He pushes down, then pulls up on the knight's right arm. A secret passage. Alexander hears the sound of voices coming from nearby. Alexander is standing in a secret passage of the Castle of the Crown. The landing is dusty and the walls are deteriorating. To the south is the door to the basement. A staircase to the north leads up to another floor. Having found the secret passage, Alexander has no desire to reveal his location behind the walls by talking aloud. A stone door fits neatly into the wall and leads back into the basement. The old walls are dirty and show the neglect of a forgotten place. The wall has deteriorated significantly in this area, leaving a chink in the wall. Alexander peers through the chink in the wall.
Captain, I've been hearing rumors from the guards who've been watching the princess. They say lately she's been pounding on her door and begging to be let out. Ain't none of my business, sir, but news like that is upsetting the other dogs. Ain't no guard in the castle who would willingly keep the princess anywhere she don't want to be.
Alhazred claims that a foreign intruder is here to assassinate her. That's why she's got to be kept under lock and key, right up until the wedding.
Call me an old dog that can't learn new tricks, but I say the princess should be the one given the orders.
Alhazred has been in charge for months, what with the king's death and Cassima's mourning. Tonight, the wedding will seal it, and there's nothing we can do about it. Like him or not, he's our liege. Need I remind you of your oath to the crown?
Aye, we've an oath. For the sake of the princess, we'll not be forgetting it. He'd just better treat her well.
Speaking of the Vizier, what do you reckon he's keeping in that magical room of his?
It's not a magic room. It's just the door he's enchanted somehow. I say he's still got the royal treasury in there, along with whatever else he's so eager to protect. Not even the court treasurer is allowed in there anymore.
I heard him in the hall the other day. He was speaking of that door. Black magic is what I say. I heard him say, Ali, but then Bay came up and started yapping at me.
Enough! It is not our place to question the practices of our liege, no matter how strange. The wedding will be starting soon. Report to the throne room when you hear the music start.
Alexander takes another look through the chink in the wall. Captain Saladin has left, and the other two guard dogs are talking too quietly for Alexander to hear them. Phew, that was a climb. Alexander hears the faint sound of a woman crying nearby. The old walls are dirty and show the neglect of a forgotten place. The wall has deteriorated significantly in this area, leaving a chink in the wall. Alexander peers through the chinks in the wall, trying to locate the source of the crying sounds. Alexander's palms begin to sweat and his heart to race. It's Cassima. He's found her.
Psst! Princess Cassima!
What? Who's there?
It is I, Alexander. I'm here behind this wall.
My, how suave that sounds.
Alexander? It really is you! Oh, I knew you were close by, but how did you get inside the castle walls?
It's a long story and not important now. You did get my ring.
Oh, yes. It has brought me such comfort, Alexander, to know you were close by and had not forgotten. But you shouldn't be here. You're only endangering yourself.
I don't care about the danger. I would brave anything to learn.
What is it?
Alhazred. Do you want to wed him, Cassima?
Oh, please believe me when I say that I never agreed to marry that man. Even when my father trusted Abdul absolutely, I never liked him. But with mother and father gone, I'm afraid there's no stopping him.
If you do not wish to marry him, Cassima, you shall not. I promise you. Only come with me now, and we shall escape.
How? I cannot fit through this wall. Besides, do you think I could leave my kingdom, my people, in Abdul's hands? But Abdul would tear the castle apart if I were to disappear from my room. You shall have to do what you can to delay his plans from your end.
I can't just leave you here.
Alexander, do not despair for me. I have been safe in this room for nearly 6 months now. Abdul can be in no hurry, whatever he plans. After all, I'm to be his bride, am I not? I have been planning too, you see. I believe I can escape. If I can only get a chance to lay my hands on a weapon, there might be an opportunity in the hustle of the wedding.
But
Shh, just a moment more, then you must go. Let us not waste time with words. Please, let me just look at you, dear Alexander.
Alexander stands in the secret passageway, so close yet so far from his heart's desire. Alexander looks with longing at the fair Cassima. She's even more beautiful than he remembered.
I have this key. It will work on any lock. Perhaps you could use it to escape.
I'm afraid my door is locked from the outside. A key wouldn't do me much good.
Cassima wrote that note for Alexander, and she doesn't need to read it again. Cassima sent that ribbon to Alexander. It would be rude to return a token of a lady's affection. Although Alexander would gladly offer Cassima all that he owns, that item would be of little help to her now. The small dagger is a gift from Lady Celeste. Its handle is decorated with precious gems set in a delicate feminine style. Alexander tests the weight of the dagger in his hand. It's too light and small to be a fatal weapon, but it could certainly wound an assailant.
Here, take this dagger. It's not much, but it might come in handy.
Why, it's perfect. This is just the sort of thing I've been looking for. Thank you, Alexander. I'll keep it close and use it if I must. Oh no! Someone's coming!
The lock on Cassima's door rattles abruptly.
Alexander, hurry! Step away before they see you!
Alexander hears scuffling and a woman's brief cry from the other side of the wall. Then, silence. Alexander looks through the chinks in the wall, anxious to see what the commotion was about. Cassima is gone. Where could they have taken her? How could he have let them take her?
A fine rescuer I'm turning out to be.
Alexander looks through the chinks in the wall to see if Cassima might have returned to her room. But alas, Cassima is still gone. On the west wall is an exit to a hallway. Alexander is standing in a secret passage of the Castle of the Crown. The hallway is dusty and the walls are deteriorating. Alexander hears the sound of scratching coming from the other side of the wall. Alexander looks through the chink in the wall.
Dear Shadrach, salutations from the Society of the Black Cloak, etc., etc. My long preparations are about to come to fruition. In a matter of minutes, I will wed the lovely Cassima. Once I've established my power and my crown, I can stage another accident. The princess has proven infuriatingly stubborn, as you know. She's becoming quite a dangerous little thorn in my side. In a way, it is a shame I have to kill her. She is lovely and would be amusing to keep around, but I can't risk her talking treason to one of the guards. So far, I've managed to keep her locked away, but I can't continue that forever. Well, on to it now. I'd send her to you, but as you know, I had no luck in doing so with Mordak. I close in triumph. King Abdul Alhazred. I think it's about time to see if Shamir has taken care of the wench as I asked. It's almost time for the wedding.
The Vizier's words fill Alexander with blazing anger and fear for Cassima's life.
That blackguard! That murderous swine! He'll not have his way if I have anything to say about it.
Alexander looks through the chink in the wall. The Vizier's study is now empty. There's a vague outline of what appears to be a door on the wall. Alexander sees lots of black cloaks. Alexander is standing in a masculine bedroom. Polished marble walls rise to meet a tall ceiling, and the furnishings have an opulent feeling. He wonders whose bedroom this is. There's no one in the bedroom to talk to. A wardrobe stands against the west wall of the room. The wardrobe is cloaked in silence. A square red-patterned rug helps protect bare feet from the cold marble floor. The rug is too heavy to lift. A canopied bed arranged with silk bedclothes and large pillows stands in one corner of the room. The bed is empty of bodies and comments. There doesn't seem to be anything on the bed except for a lot of silk. A candle-lit chandelier lends a soft light to the bedroom. The chandelier has no glowing retorts. Alexander can't reach the chandelier. A fire in a small hearth warms the bedroom. A large, soft cushion has been strategically placed on the cold marble floor to provide a comfy seat near the fire. The cushion stays demurely silent. There's nothing under the cushion but the floor. A storage trunk sits at the foot of the bed. The trunk bears a large brass lock. The trunk says nothing of its secrets. The trunk is locked. Alexander inserts the skeleton key in the trunk's lock and turns it. He hears a click. Alexander opens the trunk. The trunk contains some old leather books, a bottle of what looks like oily perfume, and a stack of correspondence. A few worn leather books occupy the trunk. The top one is entitled Guidebook to the Land of the Green Isle. A book like that might have been a big help when Alexander first arrived. The trunk's owner obviously found it interesting too, for the guidebook is dog-eared and stained. The books look interesting, but the castle is not a good place to relax and read. A small glass bottle filled with oily-looking perfume is in one corner of the trunk. Alexander isn't interested in the oily perfume. It looks like the owner of this trunk is quite the correspondent. The stack of letters appears to be ordered by date because the top one is dated only a month ago. Alexander picks up the most recent letter and examines it. The letter is addressed to Abdul Alhazred from the wizard Shadrach. It reads, "Greetings to a brother of the Black Cloak. I was sorry to hear of great Mordak's death, though he was a bit of a ninny at chess. It seems the plans for that little kingdom of yours are coming along. I must congratulate you on your handling of the king and queen. Isolating the islands so that no protest could develop was another brilliant stroke. It looks like there's not much left to stand in your way. Do as I recommended with the girl, and you shall have your crown."
That fiend!
Alexander opens the unlocked trunk. The rest of the Vizier's letters, probably equally as disgusting, remain in the trunk. There's undoubtedly more unnerving information in those letters, but Alexander has already seen enough. A small wooden table graces the wall near the fireplace. On the table is a box made of ebony. There's nothing of interest about that part of the small table. There's a box of ebony on the table. Alexander opens the ebony box and looks inside. Some old ivory dice have been left in the box. Finding Cassima is no game of chance. The box contains various trinkets and a scrap of paper with a word written on it. A worn old brush is among the box's trinkets. The brush is old and small. Alexander isn't interested in taking it. Inside the ebony box is a piece of paper with the word Zebu printed on it. Alexander can read the piece of paper without taking it. A door leads into the hall. There's a keyhole in the door. Alexander peers through the keyhole. Two guard dogs are patrolling the hallway outside the bedroom. Alexander steps confidently out into the upstairs hallway and sees two guard dogs.
Hey, who the...
Hello there.
Don't just stand there. Grab him, Bay! I'll bet it's that saboteur fellow the Vizier warned us about. I say we run him through right here and now. No. Woof. The Vizier will run you through if he doesn't get a chance at the prisoner. Let's put him in the dungeon for safekeeping, then we'll go tell the captain. Aye, Wolf, you're right. Let's go. I think someone must have let our prisoner loose, Ralph. Who would be crazy enough to do that, Hal? I don't know, but if I find out, that traitor will be sorry. Let's keep an extra sharp eye in the halls. We'll make sure no one can get near him again. Right, Hal.
The guard dogs slam the door and lock it. Alexander has a feeling there will be no help from Jollo this time. The dungeon door is locked. Alexander unlocks the door with his skeleton key and quickly makes his escape. There's a strange door on the west wall. There doesn't appear to be any handle or keyhole on the door. Since the door on the west wall has no visible knob or handle, Alexander decides to try to open it with his voice. He composes his words carefully.
Listen, door. I would have you open. Alhazred.
It worked. Alexander is standing in the Castle of the Crown's treasure room. The soft-toned room seems very secure. Along the walls are trunks and caskets, probably full of the kingdom's treasure. In the middle of the room is a low table. Graceful urns adorn the cool treasure room. Alexander doesn't need the urns. Decorative shields and spears made of gold hang on the treasure room walls. Alexander doesn't need the gold shield and spears. Besides, the soft gold wouldn't stand up well in a real battle. A gracefully curled trumpet hangs on the wall. Alas, the trumpet won't bring these walls tumbling down, and thus is of little use to Alexander. Those trunks probably contain the kingdom's treasure, once guarded so well and used so wisely by King Caliphim, now in the hands of that blackguard Alhazred. The storage trunks say nothing. Alexander has no wish to steal from the treasury of the land of the Green Isles. It might be under the Vizier's control now, but it still belongs to the people. A small table graces the middle of the room. The table is covered by a velvet drapery. The initials AA are embroidered on the drapery.
AA? That must stand for Abdul Alhazred.
Alexander pulls the drapery aside, curious as to what might lie underneath. On the table is a miniature oak tree. It looks very old.
That must be the sacred miniature oak that the Druids thought the Winged Ones stole.
The Druid's sacred miniature oak tree is on the table with the rest of the treasures. Alexander decides to leave the miniature oak here in the treasure room for safekeeping until it can be returned to the Druids. On the table is a strange-looking stone that's giving off an odd, high-pitched noise.
That must be the Isle of Wonders singing stone. Didn't the queens think that the beast had stolen it?
The Isle of Wonders singing stone is perched on the table. Alexander decides to leave the singing stone here in the treasure room for safekeeping until it can be returned to the Isle of Wonder. On the table is a coat of arms with the head of a beast on the crest.
Beast said that his coat of arms was stolen by the Druids. This must be it.
Beast's coat of arms lies on the small table. Alexander decides to leave Beast's coat of arms here in the treasure room until it can be returned to its owner. On the table is a fleece made of gold.
That fleece must belong to the Winged Ones, and they thought the Isle of Wonder had taken it.
As Alexander looks at the objects on the table, he realizes the depth of the Vizier's cunning. It must have been the Vizier or an accomplice who stole that one thing most precious to each island, and then leaked rumors that one of the other islands was responsible.
What did the Vizier have to gain by causing the islands to hate one another?
The Winged One's golden fleece is on the small table. Alexander decides to leave the golden fleece here in the treasure room for safekeeping until it can be returned to the Winged Ones. Alexander hears the sound of music coming from the east. It sounds somewhat classical, but... oh no, it's wedding music! Alexander hears a door off the north hall open. Then, the sound of guard dog footsteps. The footsteps are headed this way. Alexander hears the sound of a guard's footsteps coming from the north. Wait, there are more footsteps approaching from the west. Now what? Alexander hears the guard enter the west hall. There's a door at the top of the stairs that must lead to an upper floor. The door has a doorknob and a keyhole. Alexander peeks through the keyhole. There is no one on the other side of the door. Alexander looks cautiously around the grand hall, but there are no guard dogs to be seen. The wedding music is coming from behind those two large doors.
Prince Alexander, here, the Vizier will have my head for allowing you within a mile of the royal wedding. Since you are of noble birth, I will give you 5 seconds to explain your presence here before killing you. I warn you, it had better be good.
Alexander is standing in the grand hall of the Castle of the Crown. Brilliantly colored marble gleams from every surface, and the floor is inlaid with geometric patterns. The ceiling spans upward to a 2-story height. Staircases on either side of the room lead upstairs, and 2 massive doors to the north lead to the throne room. There's a door on the west wall under the stairs. It's the door the waiter came through and probably leads to the kitchen. There's a door on the east wall under the stairs. Large urns stand formally near the staircases. A massive chandelier lights the large room. Captain Saladin looks ready to obey his Vizier's orders. He seems to want something from Alexander. perhaps a reason to spare his life.
Captain Saladin, consider! I know you cannot be blind to the Vizier's true nature.
My personal feelings have nothing to do with it. I serve the crown. You give me no excuse to save your life, Prince Alexander. You were told to stay away from the castle, but you chose not to listen. I have no choice but to obey the Vizier.
But Saladin...
The sword at Alexander's throat makes physical resistance rather unwise at this point. Alexander would never get a chance to use that scythe before the guard dog ran him through. Besides, Alexander senses that there might be a chance to reason with the captain of the guard. Saladin would be unlikely to believe Alexander as to the origins of that red ribbon.
Wait! I'm a friend of Cassima's. I have a note to prove it.
Vizier Alhazred said you were a danger to the princess. Even if she believes you to be a friend, I have no reason to doubt that the Vizier is right about you.
Wait. If you love your princess, you'll hear me out. The Vizier is not what he appears to be. Cassima is in terrible danger. I have proof that this is so. For your princess's sake, you must believe me.
Let me see that.
Saladin reads the letter, his sword point still against Alexander's throat. Alexander watches the guard dog's noble face darken with rage.
This is treason. I'll have his throat. But how do I know this letter is not a forgery? You could have written this yourself.
But I did not. Have you no doubts of your own about Alhazred? Don't you see? All he wants is the crown. Cassima is being coerced. We must stop the wedding.
It is true. I have had my suspicions about the Vizier, especially when King Califim and Queen Alaria died. But I have seen Cassima with him several times. She appears to be quite happy, even enthusiastic. I don't believe she could love him if he truly were so wicked.
I cannot believe for a moment that she loves that snake.
A jilted lover would not believe it. But come, see for yourself.
The captain of the guard leads Alexander into the throne room, where a ceremony seems to be in progress. Alexander feels his blood run cold at the sight.
I, Cassima, declare Abdul Alhazred as my lawful and beloved husband and king of this realm.
But, Cassima, what are you saying?
Do you still claim that the princess is being forced? Perhaps it's you that's the danger, as the Vizier has said.
Alexander is standing in a magnificent throne room, finer than any he's ever seen. Unfortunately, he's not in the mood to enjoy it, because at this very moment, Cassima is about to marry Alhazred. Saladin watches Alexander carefully, waiting for him to make a move and prove that Cassima is not wedding the Vizier of her own free will. Several guard dogs are witnessing the marriage of their princess and their liege. Alexander can't believe his eyes as he looks at Cassima. Could she possibly mean to wed Alhazred? Is she out of her mind? That scheming blackguard Alhazred, Vizier of this realm, is in the process of marrying Cassima and securing a place as king of the land of the Green Isles. There's a door at the back of the throne room. Alexander wonders to where it leads. The only way to that door is past the wedding party, and Alexander wouldn't leave Cassima here to marry someone else. If Saladin is to be further convinced, it won't be through force. Alexander will have to prove that Cassima is not wedding the Vizier of her own free will.
If you refuse to defend yourself, you must have faked the letter. Since you cannot prove your point, I shall prove mine.
I'm certain that Cassima cannot mean what she's saying.
Oh, you say? I would advise you to prove it, if you can, and quickly.
Alexander doesn't have time to chat with the wedding guests. Cassima is getting married.
Hold, villain! You shall not marry the princess!
Prince Alexander here? This is an outrage! How dare you allow this traitor to get past you, Saladin? You stupid mutt! Can't you even keep the castle free of assassins during your own princess's wedding? Kill him! Kill him now!
Lord Alhazred, with all due respect, you are not quite king yet, and this is a wedding ceremony, not an execution.
What? How dare you contradict me, you flea-bitten mongrel! I gave a direct order. Obey me, or feel my wrath.
Milady, I apologize for my behavior, but I am yours to command in all things. I wanted merely to hear your own wishes from your own lips. Tell me what it is that you wish me to do with this young man, and I will obey.
Why, Captain, you heard my dear Abdul. If he wishes this atrocious young man's death, then I want nothing more than to see him get his wish. Obey thy liege now and always.
As you wish, princess.
Just as Saladin prepares to run Alexander through with his sword, a shout is heard from the direction of the Grand Hall.
Hold! In the name of the true king!
King Caliphim and Queen Ilaria burst into the throne room, looking alive and well and full of wrath. Behind them, a line of supporters look prepared to battle, if necessary, for their beloved royal couple.
Cassima, darling, are you all right? Has he hurt you?
Hands off of her, you murderous goat!
If I want your advice, I'll ask for it, Mother.
But, Caliphim, that's not Cassima. I'd know my daughter anywhere.
What have you done with our daughter, you devil?
The lovely image of Cassima suddenly bursts into smoke and is replaced by the Vizier's genie.
Why, you conniving serpent!
Get him, guards! Saladin, your sword! Drat it all! You may have ruined my plans, but you won't get me, or your precious Cassima. Get them, Shamir! I command you! He's getting away! Stop him!
Yes, sire, as soon as I deal with this genie!
Saladin is busy battling the magic-wielding genie. Shamir, the Vizier's genie, begins to throw balls of dazzling light at the guard dogs. The guard dogs are engaged in a struggle against Shamir Shamazel, the Vizier's genie. Shamir Shamazel, the Vizier's genie, is throwing bright balls of light at the hapless guard dogs. The dazzling light appears to be stunning the powerful creatures. Alexander doesn't have time to chat with the guard dogs. The Vizier is getting away. Alexander doesn't have time to deal with the genie now. Alhazred has left the throne room and may be on his way to the real Cassima. Alexander can't stop to comfort the king and queen now. He has to find Cassima. No one is likely to listen to Alexander during all the commotion. Alexander is standing in a beautiful round tower. Stairs lead upward, spiraling towards the top of the tower and Alhazred. A large wooden door leads back into the throne room.
Alhazred, you coward, come back here!
There is no reply from the coward or anyone else. Alexander can't even think about exploring at a time like this. Alhazred is getting away.
Alexander! Be careful, Alhazred has a sword!
Shut up, wench! Shamir Shamazel! Get in here!
Here I am, master! It's about time, you bumbling fool! How could you let him follow me?
Well, there were the guard dogs, master, and then...
Never mind! Just kill him! Kill him now!
As you wish, master. Razzle, dazzle, snap and snazzle!
Alexander, I did it! I swapped the lamps! Here, quick, take it!
Bless you, Jalo. I knew you could do it. Now get clear, friend.
No arguments there, my lord. Good luck!
Alhazred's genie, Shamir Shamazel, looks like he's winding up for a huge dazzle spell, and he's aiming it at Alexander.
Listen to me, Shamir. Renounce the Vizier. I know you are not really evil.
But I am a genie, and a genie has a master. You are not the one who holds my lamp.
Alexander can't take the genie by force. The creature would only poof himself free.
Send a ball of light to frazzle.
Alexander has the genie's lamp. Alexander rubs the lamp, but nothing happens. The genie must be out at the moment.
Shamir Shamazel, hold your spells. I am your master now. I order you to go back into your lamp.
How did you get my lamp? You thief! You've ruined me!
My lamp! Oh, thank Valhalla! I hated working for that loathsome creature. I already feel his nastiness leaving me. How I've longed for a master like you. I've got a new master. I've got a new master.
So, you are a thief as well, Alexander. Stealing the lamp was very clever, I'll grant you that. But I am the master thief. Face my sword if you dare. The man left standing shall have the lamp.
So shall it be, Alhazred. I don't need the genie to deal with a coward like you.
Alhazred handles his sword deftly. He looks quite enraged and more than ready to avenge himself on the interloping prince who has ruined his dreams of glory. So this is where Alhazred stashed the real Cassima during the wedding ceremony. She struggles against her bonds, but thankfully doesn't seem to be harmed. There's a door on the west side of the round tower. It seems that Alexander is to face his destiny, for good or ill, in this round room at the top of the castle's grand tower. Long peaked windows overlook the isle and the sea below. Unfortunately, Alexander's in no position to appreciate the view.
Don't be afraid, Princess.
I trust you, Alexander, but please be careful.
Alexander should save Cassima first and worry about wooing her later. Calling to the four winds will not help Alexander in his final battle. Alexander's bare hands would have little chance against Alhazred's sword. Alhazred still stands between Alexander and Cassima. Alexander cannot reach the princess unless he deals with the Vizier first. A very large ornate ceremonial sword has been mounted on the wall. Inspiration, Alexander fixes upon the only weapon in sight.
Zounds! This sword must weigh a ton.
Good. Then you shall only fail sooner, my prince. So, the mouse would bite?
This mouse shall bite, as you shall soon see. Or should I say, soon feel?
You can barely lift that sword, my prince. Better to lay it down now. I promise to dispatch you with little pain.
A tempting offer. but I think I'll wait and see what this sword can do.
Suit yourself.
Alexander's arms start to tremble under the effort of wielding the huge sword. His muscles are nearing exhaustion.
Ha! And so it ends.
Not if I can help it, you murderer!
Cassima thrusts the small dagger into Alhazred's shoulder with all her might.
Ah! You dare raise a finger to me? You will regret that, princess.
Cassima! Are you all right?
I'm fine, Alexander. I was just so afraid for you.
There's no need to fear anymore, princess.
Yes, I know. How can I ever repay you? For myself, for my kingdom.
It was not in me to let harm come to you. Can you find it in you, princess, to give me more than your gratitude?
Alexander, what are you saying?
I love you, Cassima. Would you ever consider... Do you think you could... marry me?
Could you ever have doubted it, my prince? Oh! Guards!
Princess Cassima, are you well?
I'm quite well, thank you. Please take Abdul and put him in the dungeon. See to it that he gets a doctor.
Yes, Majesty.
Cassima and Alexander ask Captain Saladin to perform their wedding ceremony. Saladin is honored to do so.
On this historical day of great joy in the land of the Green Isles, we witness the union of Cassima, beloved princess of this realm, and Alexander, Prince of Daventry. Do you, Prince Alexander of Daventry, take Princess Cassima to be your wife, to love and to cherish for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
And do you, Princess Cassima of the land of the Green Isles, take Prince Alexander to be your husband, to love and to cherish for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Do you have a ring?
I have Alexander's royal insignia ring.
Very good. Please place the ring on Cassima's finger. Who gives this bride to be wed?
Her mother and I willingly give our daughter's hand in wedlock.
Who will speak for the groom?
I will. Alexander's mother and I recognize his marriage to Princess Cassima with glad hearts, and sanction this union.
Then, Alexander and Cassima, I now pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
Congratulations, my children. I have an important question for you both. Please hear me.
Yes, sire?
Alexander, I welcome you into our family with open arms. I place trust in Alhazred because I so badly wanted a son and a husband for my beloved daughter. I was wrong. But you are true and good, Alexander. You have proven yourself to all my people.
Thank you, sire.
Olaria and I have been through much. Even though we have returned to our kingdom, I do not think we are able to reign again. Will you two consider the crown? I know as king and queen, you can heal this small kingdom from all the damage that Alhazred has inflicted upon it.
Oh, Father!
Why, I'm honored. What do you think, Cassima?
I love my homeland, Alexander. I would be happy to stay and serve it all my days.
Father, I believe I'm needed here. Would you be very disappointed if...
Son, you must follow your destiny. I do believe the land of the Green Isles needs you. You'll be a magnificent king, though dearly missed in Daventry.
Then, I accept.
Oh, my boy, what a man you've become. And how I will miss you.
Don't worry, Mother. With Shamir's powers, we'll be able to visit often. I'm not about to forget my family.
Congratulations, Alexander. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, dear sister.
Oh, Alexander, I'm so glad. Between the return of my beloved parents and our new reign, you've made me so happy.
I'm glad I could make up for some of your suffering, my beautiful wife.
Congratulations, King Alexander. When we return home to Daventry, your crew will be glad to hear that their battle at sea was worthwhile in bringing forth a new monarch.
We were so worried when your men arrived home without you, son. I'm so thankful that you are safe and happy.
And I am as grateful that my crew did not pay for my driven heart.
You have only brought us all good fortune, sire. With Shamir saved and his power used for good, reuniting the islands will be far easier. He has already repaired the ferry. Your road will be easier now that the islands are no longer feuding. Already the wounds are starting to heal.
Yes, my love. Discovering the island's stolen treasures has done more to bring peace to this land than anything else. It is now clear that Alhazred had Shamir steal each of the island's most valued treasures, then blame the thefts on others to cause the islands to hate each other.
Now let us celebrate our good fortune. The evil that has plagued this land is done, and a new reign begins. Long live King Alexander and Queen Cassima.
Long live King Alexander! Long live Queen Cassima! Long live the land of the Green Isles! Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
You seem so far away, and I just need to hear your voice. I just need to hear you say if you would have me go or stay.
I saw your face, and I felt our souls embrace.
If it's not meant to be this way, why do you haunt me night and